Start with invoicing. So I'll start with the standard invoice.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, if you see, we have two things. So one is whether we can match it with PO based invoice, or we can use a non PO based invoice. So what we are trying to do is non PO based invoice. So if we have invoice, so we can just enter
Mm-hmm.
it here. So based on the
Okay.
details that we have used in the PO, system automatically picks it, the
Okay.
BU supplier and all those details. So only thing we
Mm-hmm.
will do is that we will enter the invoice number and we will know the amount and we will just enter the lines and these things. And
Okay.
here we can match. So here if you see we can match
Okay.
with lines. So if we give this
Mm-hmm.
particular option,
Okay. So the number there, the invoice header, right?
yeah,
The invoice number is typically manually entered,
yeah, manually entered.
not system generated.
No, it is always manually entered.
Okay.
Yeah, for the reason being is that we will receive
You take it
physical
from the
bill. Yeah, correct.
bill. Yeah.
So that is why it is always. If you see this invoice number, and
Mm-hmm.
in AR we have receipt. So maybe the
Mm-hmm.
transaction or the invoice in the AR can be automated, but receipt it
Mm-hmm.
will be always manual, because we will
Manual.
take the instrument number or maybe the online transaction number, and we will say this
Mm-hmm.
as an receipt number. So for the identification
Mm-hmm.
purpose. So similarly here we
Mm-hmm.
will take the bill number and we will just enter it. So that's why it is always manual. Yeah, so this is the place where we will enter the purchase order number and we will match it manually. So if you see here, we will have
Mm-hmm.
quantity and we will have a unit price and we will have amount. And apart from that, we will have each line number of the purchase order. Maybe in a purchase order, we might have more than 3 or 4 lines as well. So for each line, if
Okay.
let's say I wanted to match only two items that I have ordered. So maybe I
Mm-hmm.
could have ordered laptop, desktop, and mouse and keyboard. So now
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to invoice only for the mouse and keyboard. So I can do that
Mm-hmm.
by selecting line 1 and line 2. So maybe later point of time, what I will do is that I will do the invoicing. Even though I have received the item, maybe I'll invoice only for these two items.
Okay.
So I'll select here. So here we will have an option to select the PO lines. So
Mm-hmm.
after giving the purchase order number from here.
Okay.
So since we don't have any purchase order, so it is saying null, or else we will have the purchase order number.
Okay.
So based on that, we can schedule it, or and also we will have the details of the purchase order, like how much is ordered, and how much is received, and how much was available. So which means how much I can match with a particular invoice. And
Okay.
accepted will come in when we have the inception. So that is four-way matching. So after I receive the go, so basically I'll do also the inspection. So after I
Mm-hmm.
inspect, I'll say that yes, I can accept this particular item quantity of item. So
Mm-hmm.
that is when we will have this. So if we are not using the inspection, so this will not come into picture. And build is something that if I have, in this case, we are taking 4 lines where we are building 2 lines. So
Mm-hmm.
again, if I'm coming back and building for the same purchase order, system will say that build as in maybe in ordered 40 quantity, it will say 20 quantity has been built.
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, and shipped is nothing but the SEM part, whether the shipping and the consuming part,
Okay.
and even these are like the SEM part. So these are the details that we will have. So this is how basically we will match the purchase order.
Okay, this is in case you have a purchase order, and I
Yeah,
mean it's coming right from the beginning, like
yeah,
let's say from procurement,
yes,
right? You
yes,
create there a purchase order, and then that comes to AP. And when you enter the purchase order here, that number, whatever that is, on the top, that's when the details will be displayed at the bottom where it shows the quantity, unit price, and all the details,
yes,
right?
yeah,
And
correct.
then it automatically shows what are ordered, what was received, what was billed, or do you have to specifically check those?
No, we don't need to check anything. So ordered, build, everything will be populated automatically based on the
Okay,
historical transaction against this purchase order.
okay, okay. And then you just say apply and okay.
Yeah, yes,
And then okay.
so this is,
But in ABS, it was easier to just create a purchase order and then do it, right? Here we have to do a lot more setups. Is that what it is?
yeah. So there are few changes from EBS and this thing. So if you see in EBS, we can use the standard approval method and we can just configure the system. But here in this case, you will have to use the BPM first thing. And second thing is that there are few changes like we have tab. Tab is nothing but transaction account builder and the other things. So it is kind of an
Where in procurement?
yeah, in procurement.
Okay.
So we will have to build the tab and the other things. And apart from that, we have additional setups. And to get the item, so we will have to complete the inventory module configuration.
Inventory.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to
Okay.
have the transfer or the quantity in unknown quantity. Uh,
Okay.
so this will add little setup that we need to
So it's
have.
much more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, if I have some SEM consultant, it's good that we can have that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I need to check.
So let's say typically when you are going as an AP, I mean functional AP guy, okay, for Fusion.
Yeah,
So they don't expect you to, I mean, in terms of, I'm not, that's it. What do they expect? I mean, do they expect you to have a SCM knowledge also in terms of Fusion?
yeah, knowledge it is good to have, but it is not always expected from an AP consultant because they have already a procurement or the order management guy already with them. So
Okay.
only thing is that in terms of AP, we will need to understand like when I have the purchase order, so how am I going to use that? Like how do I match in this part? So these are the part they
Mm-hmm.
will be expecting from us. But apart from
Okay.
that, if we are an functional consultant, so for
Mm-hmm.
those cases, they will definitely expect us to have both procurement and the AP module knowledge. Or
If you are an AP functional person,
yes, if it is functional, they will expect.
in what case they don't expect?
Like if I'm AP consultant, they will not expect me to have complete control on the procurement aspect. But if I'm a functional consultant, they will expect me to have both procurement and AP as well.
Wow.
Even the
Okay.
other things also, like the order management and receivables as well. So functional consultant will play a bigger role rather than AP consultant because AP consultant will be able to tell only in terms of financial aspect, but whereas the functional
Mm-hmm.
consultant will be able to give more solution on the entire application, like both the finance and the SEM.
Okay.
So that is
So
it.
do you also work on SCM?
No, I haven't worked. I will usually coordinate with the SCM guys. So that is how
Okay.
I'll have basic details. Like I know these are the configuration involved.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah,
But typically, I'm saying at
yeah,
work, you don't have
yeah,
to do it, right? Because you have
yeah,
somebody else doing it.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Even for the demonstration, what we will do is that we will request finance. I mean, SCM team to complete the configuration, and
Mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
demo will start from the procurement guys. Demo. So after
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is done, so till the receipt part, after that
yeah.
I will take over and I'll explain from the invoicing part, where I'll explain
Okay.
the PO part as well in the invoice, but not on the procurement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is how usually it will happen.
So when you came here, right, to the invoice header, you basically entered whatever is the required fields,
Yeah,
and then you came to the lines and you clicked on the dash there, whatever that arrow there,
yeah,
right? And that's how it opened up the purchase order uh,
yeah. Purchase order.
details.
Yeah, yes, correct. This is how
Okay.
we. Yeah, if we wanted to match the purchase order, so here in this case, I have given match invoice lines.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see match to receipt charges or if you wanted to correct the matched invoices, so this is also possible.
Mm-hmm.
But here I have given match invoice lines, which means this lines will be matched with the purchase order that we are choosing there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is how we will match the PO.
Can you explain it a little for me, please? In let's can you put it on an Excel, or even if you can show me here, right? When you say invoice lines, at the bottom you have items and you have amounts and distribution set. Of course, you give the combination and everything there, code
Yeah.
combination. So once you enter this information, this is your invoice.
Yes, correct.
You're invoicing for this. I mean, basically, you're saying these are the items that were received, and this is what I'll be paying for,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
And so how is it different from the lines on the purchase order? That's my confusion.
No, line on the purchase order is different from the line in the invoice lines or the distribution. So I have maybe two, three lines because in this case we are
Mm-hmm.
matching with the invoice lines. So we
Mm-hmm.
might have the same lines what we have it in the purchase order. But apart from
Yeah,
that,
that's what my uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. Apart from that, we have the distributions as well. So in distribution, if I want to split it into two parts, let's say I ordered for 10 quantities and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have one account code combination for this five quantities and different account code combination for other five quantities. So what I'll do is that I'll split the amount and I'll say this is distribution one and this is distribution two. For the one line I have entered in the invoice line.
Okay.
So that will be the difference. But apart from that, whatever we are matching in the purchase order, so we will have the same thing in the line as well. So there
Okay.
we can see this one, the purchase order line. So for the line
Mm-hmm.
one, we will have this. So this is the purchase order number, and this is the line. And for this, we will have the schedule as also. So schedule is nothing but so when it will happen and all those things. So
Okay.
for against each line, we will have the amount and all those details.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
when you say you will split, let's say you said you will split 10, let's say 10 items to two distribution sets,
yeah.
right? So five in each. Let's assume distribution one and distribution two, five.
Okay.
So in that case, how will that match the lines? So it just takes the total number of items, or is it going to look separately? How is it going to match with the order, I mean, purchase order?
No, it is based on the receipt quantity. So let's say I
Okay.
ordered for 10 quantity and I have received only 5 quantity. So in this five quantity, let's say I have two lines for each.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will do is
Mm-hmm.
that here, since I have received only five quantity, so I will
Mm-hmm.
match only the line one saying five quantity. So here, if you see, the remaining are the available numbers to match would be only five. So here my
Okay.
value will change. So maybe next time when I receive it, so there are two controls to it. So the first thing is that we will have control on the matching. So how are we matching? So are we matching
Mm-hmm.
with the purchase order, or are we matching with the receipt, or we are matching with inspection? So if
Okay.
I'm matching with the purchase order, which means my purchase order should match with the I mean, my invoice should match with the purchase order that what I have created initially. So the
Okay. So
1090,
basically, it is the totals that you're looking at.
yeah. So I have ordered for 10 quantity. So even if I have received 5 quantity, since
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the purchase order, I will always match with the 10 quantity that I have ordered. So
Okay.
this is first option to match with the purchase order. And the second
Mm-hmm.
option is that to match with the receipt. So in this case, I have even though I have ordered for 10 quantities, I received only
Mm-hmm.
5 quantities. So what I
Mm-hmm.
can do is that always my match should be against the receipt, which means I will match only for the 5 quantities that I have received.
Mm-hmm.
And the other way of matching is with inspection. So
Mm-hmm.
I have received 5 items. So
Mm-hmm.
out of these 5 items, maybe 2 are different. So I
Mm-hmm.
can receive or I can accept only 3 items. So
Mm-hmm.
I will match only 3 items and get invoice. So apart from this 7 items, so that will be undelivered. So
Mm-hmm.
are yet to be delivered. So the invoicing that I will do is only for the three items. So that
Okay.
depends on the matching rule that we are doing here. So
Okay.
and another thing is that we saw on the other day the tolerance and the other things when we are doing the configuration.
Mm-hmm.
We saw tolerance. So this
Yeah.
is where it will come in. So if we have tolerance, maybe system will accept it. So if we are not defining any tolerance, system will
Mm-hmm.
say this is on hold.
Okay.
So we will have all holds and everything here
Invoice
in
actions.
manage.
Okay.
Yeah, in invoice actions, we can see in manage holds.
Mm-hmm.
So there we will see that the tolerance is not set up and it has overbuild.
Okay.
So it will put in hold. So unless we release or unless we change the respective values, so that
Mm-hmm.
is from 5 to 3, so we will not
Mm-hmm.
be able to process this invoice. So this will be still in hold. So we
Okay.
will have to change the values and then we will validate again. Then we can process this bill.
Okay.
So that's what it is always on the line number or the bill that we received based on the
Mm-hmm.
matching that we have selected.
Okay. What about the ones here, the distribution reference tax purchase order again there? What's that purchase order? The one below the lines, I mean, on the lines, right? You have some headers there, the blue ones.
This one.
Go up, right under the allocate, cancel line, and distributions buttons. On the top, you have distribution reference
Yeah, yeah,
tax
okay.
purchase order, right?
Yeah, this is nothing but like I click purchase order, so I'm seeing those details. So if I click
Oh,
asset
you
and
already clicked on purchase order.
yeah,
Oh, okay. That's how you got that. Okay.
yeah. If I click distribution, I'll have this. So it is just to take it to a particular point. Like if I click distribution, it will take me here.
So instead of scrolling all the way to
Yeah,
the right, you're just clicking on that. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I was wondering what that meant. Okay.
yeah.
And that allocate, what do you use that for? Allocate button on the top. One above. Uh-huh. What's that?
Now, allocate is like for this one PO based invoice again. This.
Okay.
So whether we wanted to use all line or we wanted to use only these specific lines. So that
Okay.
we can mention it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the functionality of allocate. And we have
Mm-hmm.
a cancel line. Maybe the invoice is not accounted or it is not done with the final matching. So we
Mm-hmm.
can cancel this line.
Okay.
So canceling line will be reversed.
Okay.
Yeah, similarly for the distribution as well. So we have the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here, yeah. So here
The
we
invoice
can use,
function is.
yeah, I was saying that we haven't completed all the relevant inputs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have two things. So we can either enter the distribution or we can use the distribution set. So distribution set will reduce our effort in terms of entering the account code combination. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see in this case, we have only four segments.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not mandatory that all business will have only four segments.
Yeah.
So we might have eight, nine segments also.
Mm-hmm.
So for those cases, so we have an option to enter the distribution set. So this we
Okay.
have it for both the AP and AR. So we have this
Okay.
option to generate the account code combination based on the distribution set. So again
Okay.
here in the distribution set, I can use either 50% and 50%, or I can use the entire 100%. So
Okay.
when I will use this 50% is that maybe I wanted to use two account code combination, or let's say I have a single account code, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to distribute it to the two units or the departments. So
Okay.
for that, I will distribute into 50%. So
Mm-hmm.
50% will sit in this particular department one, and the other
Mm-hmm.
50% will be on the department two. So that way
Okay.
I can allocate it. So
So
that
where do you define this distribution set?
in the configuration, I think we saw the distribution set. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
No
still have to
problem.
go back and look at this.
Yeah, no problem. I'll show the.
I just started again. So oh yeah, manage distribution sets.
So maybe in this case, I'll say for maybe the rent payment.
Mm-hmm.
So for this case, so what I have done is that I have split it into two parts.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be on the basis of account code,
Mm-hmm.
so not on the department. So if I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to use two different expenses on the single line, so what I
Mm-hmm.
can do is that I can use one line and I can split
Mm-hmm.
it into two in the distribution,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't need to enter manually every time. So this I can do it for a number of things, like maybe I can add even four more lines and have
Mm-hmm.
it like 20% or 25% based on the lines that I'm adding in. So I can do that way.
Okay.
So this is
So
for
the
the,
distribution combination, can it be based on any other, what do you call, instead of just the account, can we do it on any other thing? No,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
we can do, but we cannot do on the balancing segment value. So that is the only thing.
okay.
So apart from this, we can do it for the other segments. So this we have
Okay.
done it for the account code. So we will create
Mm-hmm.
another distribution set for the location. So we have location. So in this case,
Okay.
what we are trying to say is that we have maybe 10 different locations. So
Uh-huh.
out of 10 different locations, we have zone 1 and we have zone 2. So under zone 1, we will have maybe 4. Uh,
Okay.
we have 4. So on this 4, we will try to create a combination where it will be distributed for the 4 different locations as a 25%.
Okay.
So this will be one case. We will try both the cases.
So when you say distribution percentage on the top is 100%, it is because you are taking 100% of the entire whatever
Yeah,
the
yeah,
amount. But when you split it down and the lines, that will be split into how much percentage you want to send it to rent account and how much to accrued expense.
yeah, is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so which means I'm taking line amount of 100%, and in the distribution, I'm splitting it into multiple parts.
Yeah. So typically for anything, whenever we create, the distribution percentage at the top will be 100% only, no matter
Yeah,
what.
yes,
Anything that is distributed at the bottom is what changes.
yes, correct.
Okay. So one distribution amount that you are you're creating now, let's say you've already created one and you've associated with that business unit. You cannot associate this distribution set or distribution, this distribution set to any other business unit, right?
Yeah, we cannot do it. So this will be always
Okay.
based on the business unit. If you see, if I have enabled this for the business unit Tata Steel, so I cannot use
Mm-hmm.
this for the Tata consultancy because the BU is
Yeah.
different from this.
So this distribution set is only at the BU level, but not at the ledger or the LE level.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So can you have, let's say in Hyderabad, now you have 0102 and 4130. Instead of that natural account, we can give the other natural account that you chose.
Yeah, we can give.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, so I have created, I mean, I have distributed into four parts. So one is for Mumbai, and the other one is for Chennai, and the other one is for Hyderabad and Chennai port.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the configuration that we will need for the distribution. So now maybe we will enter a manual invoice and we can check how it is getting distributed.
Mm-hmm. So I have a basic question here. So when you enter the number there, right, you're entering whatever 800, 700, whatever number you want, you're entering.
Yeah.
Let's say some other user enters the same number or
Okay.
it already exists.
Okay.
Will it take it or will it show us a warning or something like that?
No,
Or can
this
it
is
have duplicate numbers?
no, this is unique. So basically, system will throw error that it is a duplicate number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you see here, so we have two accounts. So one is for the
Mm-hmm.
accrued expense and the other one is for the rent. So because we
Mm-hmm.
split it into two parts, that is 50% and 50%.
Okay.
So these are the accounts that we have given. So one is for accrued
So it
expenses.
automatically came.
Yeah, automatically came. We didn't.
So it automatically split into 50-50 or the 5,000.
Yes, correct.
And the distribution also, it went accordingly. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the advantage of using the distribution set. So we don't need to
Mm-hmm.
enter it manually everything. So we just select the distribution set and system will populate automatically.
Okay.
So this will be applicable for the cases where we know that this will happen. So maybe
Okay.
if we don't know for the emergency billings, we are doing certain accounts and these things. So for this,
Mm-hmm.
we cannot have the distribution set. So the predictable expenses, we can have this distribution set created.
Okay.
Yeah. So apart from that, system will show also the statuses. So if you see the validation, so we
Mm-hmm.
didn't validate it, so system is saying not validated, and accounting is
Okay.
unprocessed.
Mm-hmm.
And the receipt and PO, we didn't use it, so system is not giving any inputs.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second part is the location that we used.
So 25%.
Yeah, 25% similarly. So it will split
Mm,
accordingly.
okay.
Yeah. So that's what about the distribution. And apart from that, we have few other things as well. So here, if you see, we have asset. So when we
Mm-hmm.
will use asset is that basically when we are procuring, when we are making a purchase, so we
Mm-hmm.
have two kind of purchase. So one is for the internal purpose that is used at a ad hoc or something,
Mm-hmm.
and the other thing is to make the asset purchase. So if I'm procuring a laptop, so which means this is an asset to the company. So
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm building in the AP module,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately end of the day it should go to the asset module. So how this
Okay.
will go to asset module is that I'll track this as an asset first thing. So there are a
Okay.
few prerequisites to make this as an uh, asset invoice. So it should
Okay.
be marked as an track as an asset, and
Mm-hmm.
the account code combination that we are using, it should be on the asset clearing account. And another thing is that this asset clearing account should match with the asset category. So details of this we will see when we are seeing the asset module. But I'm just
Okay.
giving the high level this thing because we have it
Okay.
in AP as well. So these are
Okay.
the three prerequisites that we will need. So if these three are in place, so what we
Mm-hmm.
will do is that we will do the create mass addition. We saw yesterday in the while
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing the dashboard, we have something called create mass addition. So after we complete this invoice part, so we
Mm-hmm.
will take this particular GL date. So where we will find the GL date is here. So we give show more, and here
Mm-hmm.
we will have the accounting information, and from here we can take the accounting date. So before
Okay.
28, if we process the mass addition, the system will not pick this particular transaction as invoice. So we should give 28 October, and system will pick
Mm-hmm.
this particular invoice so that we can process the mass addition. So again, we will import it from the asset module. So
Okay.
here we can verify the account code as well. Yeah. So
Okay.
those are the information that we will have. And apart from that, we have taxation part of it. So this we will see when we are seeing the fusion taxes.
Okay.
So for now, this is the way to create the manual invoice.
Okay.
And
So
and
once you create this one, or once you save that,
yeah,
so you will go and validate it.
yeah, is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and apart from that, if we wanted to have some audit or something that who has created, when it is being created, these
Uh-huh.
details we can see. Because what will
Okay.
happen is that sometimes any consultant, the supporting consultant, by
Mm-hmm.
mistake he might select some values and it will record as an updated. So here we
Okay.
can see those details, like created by maybe particular user on the particular date and time, and if specific
So
user,
this will be generated by the system itself.
yeah, yes, we will not do
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will show the creation and the updated by.
Okay. Is there a way you can disable this?
No, we cannot disable this. So only option
Okay.
would be to personalize and remove this particular option. But
Yeah. Okay.
but mostly clients prefer to have this because this will stay as
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
audit.
I'm just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know. It's better to have it.
And here, if you see, we have a few other options as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
have installment. So installments will be generated based on the invoice. So if I click on this particular option, so I
Mm-hmm.
will see the payment schedule. So the due date would be on 28th because I have
Mm.
taken immediate.
Okay.
And the payment date, so we have, if you remember, when we are creating the supplier, we
Mm-hmm.
enabled default payment method as a check.
As check.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So for check, we don't need the bank details because all those details will be already present in the check.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't update the bank account. So in case of
Okay.
NEFT or RTGS, so for
Mm-hmm.
those cases, we will need the bank accounts. Since we selected payment method as a check, we don't have the bank details. So in case
Okay.
of NEFT, we will have the bank details also attached. So we will see the bank account name and the other things here.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the amount and we have the payment details. So since we haven't made the payment, so it is unpaid as in 10,000.
Okay.
And if we have discounts, so we will have it here. Since this is an immediate payment, we will not have any discounts part here.
Okay. So you don't have to enter anything in this one, right? In
Yeah,
this.
yeah, we don't need to enter anything. So this
Okay.
is kind of an information page where we can see the payment related information, when this
Okay.
will be due and when I need to plan for the payment.
So this will be useful for advanced ones or oh no, not even advanced, only net 30 or net 45, those cases, right?
I mean discount part yes, are the
Even the
schedule.
installment part.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, because if you say immediate, you don't have any installments or anything. And advance is like pretty much you pay in advance anyway, so you
Yes,
may not truly have an installment there.
yes, correct.
So the only cases, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So apart from that, we have calculate tax. So even this we will see part of fusion tax, and validate will validate the invoice. If there are
Mhm.
any anything that we have discrepancy in between line or distribution or anything needs to be validated, system will give a error or it will say this went in hold. So which means
Okay.
the status will change to not validated or
Mm-hmm.
unvalidated.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are seeing the prepayment, we will see like how to apply and unapply the prepayment.
Okay.
And holds we saw that manual hold and system holds. And
Mm-hmm.
approval is where we will initiate the approval and do those things. And we can see the notification history. If it is going for the multiple parties, we can see those things.
Okay.
And cancel invoice is that we can cancel this particular invoice, which means we are reversing this entry which we made.
Okay.
And delete invoice is something that before we validate the invoice, if you want to delete, we can delete it. So once it is validated and accounted, so we cannot delete it. Or if we have made the payment, we cannot delete the invoice. Only option is to cancel the invoice. So
So
that
the
is,
cancel invoice is prior to your validation
yeah, no, no,
or after? No, no, sorry, after the validation.
yeah, yes,
After you validate and you want to reverse it, and that's when you use the cancel invoice. But deleted invoice is something you can only delete before it's been validated.
yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have pay in full option. So in terms of payment, we have two ways of making the payment. So one is either by choosing the payment screen, and we can make it payment manually for one particular invoice if you wanted to make. And the other way is to have it in the batch, payment batch. We say PPR, payment
Mm-hmm.
process request. So through which we can make the payment. So this pay
Okay.
in full is for the manual options that we told. That is first option. So
Okay.
directly this will take us to the payment screen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the other option we have is for the accounting. So post to ledger will directly post it to the general ledger module. And account in draft, it is like making the accounting in draft mode. So which
Mm-hmm.
means this is for only the internal purpose for the verification. So we
Mm-hmm.
can verify the account, accounting entries getting generated, and we can
Mm-hmm.
then do the post to GL. So only
Yeah.
difference between EBS and Fusion here is that in EBS, if you notice, you will have something called post final. So that is not
Mm-hmm.
available here in Fusion for AP module.
Okay.
So we have only account in draft or directly push to the GL module and post it.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the options we have. So we have validated the invoice. So maybe I'll try to post this transaction. Yeah. So these are the entry system as generated
Okay. Why are there so many of those?
because we distributed into
Oh,
multiple places.
location,
Yeah.
multiple
Locations we
locations.
used multiple different.
Okay. Okay. So can we see this invoice that was posted into GL in GL?
Yeah.
Can we verify that?
Yeah. Yeah. We can see.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. So this is the JV that is transferred from payable modules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Just a quick question, not related to this one, but the one related to supplier. I have a question.
Okay.
Um, so when we do like, you must be an see. I heard in one of the things it said you must be an employee before you create a supplier. If you are defined as a consultant and your employee is not linked with the user, you will not be able to access or to create. You will not have access to create a supplier.
Yeah.
Wow. Why is that? I mean, like, did we do anything yesterday with the employee? We did not do anything as such, right? Was our TrainT an employee already?
No, that we saw, I mean, this part we have seen into two parts. So first part we saw as a part of configuration. So we created
Mm-hmm.
an employee under manage user, we created it, and we also created the procurement agent. So
Uh,
after creating the procurement agent, we actually yesterday we created an invoice, and while creating the supplier, we also said that we have control over this thing, uh, supplier side creation. So supplier can be created by anyone. So if I'm procurement agent, so I can create supplier,
mm-hmm.
but to create the supplier site and give access to the particular site, I need to be created as a procurement agent for that given site. So unless I have
Yes.
access for those sites, so I will not be able
Mm-hmm.
to create the site assignment for this particular thing. So that is the difference between this thing. So when we are saying about the shift from EBS to Fusion, so that is from
Mm-hmm.
AP module to procurement module, the supplier movement. So we saw the
Mm-hmm.
things like we have the procurement agent role. So procurement agent role is kind of an buyer in EBS. So that is been changed to procurement agent here. And
Uh-huh.
the another change is that only procurement agent can create the supplier and supply side in Fusion application.
Yes. Yeah. That I learned, but then I was thinking, did we do it as an employee yesterday? I know we assigned some rules, but I wasn't sure if we did it as an employee or not. So I was like, um, even without that, how did it work? I was scratching my head.
Yeah, I mean we did it in configuration, so I did it
Yeah, I mean,
just I remember.
yesterday's piece, I was only thinking of yesterday's things. I was thinking, how did it work for him? And this guy says it has to be like employee. Where is that? So, I got lost. Okay, got it. So we already defined him as an employee, so that's why you were able to do that.
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay. I'm trying to piece together things. So,
Yeah, that's what. Since we saw in configuration, I also didn't take time and do that one actually.
yeah, I mean, because, I was like, I was writing this, I was trying to prepare some notes from yesterday's, I mean, based on yesterday's thing. So I was prerequisites that are needed for supplier. I was thinking then it's like employee, supplier manager role defined as a procurement agent, approval engine configured. And then components that need to be updated are supplier addresses and sites. And registrations are external request and internal request is what I found. I mean, I was trying to do some research. So that's what I found. And I'm like, employee, why, how come it worked for him without doing anything? So,
Yeah, so this is just like an viewable part. So if you want to edit, maybe we can click action and edit. So this will
okay.
become like a normal image. So this is the invoice that we created.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see like how we can make payment directly. So if we want to make direct payment, so which means this will be always in full. So if we wanted to
Okay.
make the partial payment, we cannot make it from this page.
Mm-hmm.
So we will have to navigate to the manual payment screen, and from there we can do the partial payment.
Okay. I don't know, Arun. I think something is funny from a couple of days when you take this. I mean, sometimes your voice, like, runs fast. Then, then again, it slows down. I don't know. Something is going on. You use headsets or something?
Yeah, I'm using headsets.
Something funny is happening. Sometimes it's so fast, like I'm trying to understand what's going on, and then it just slows down.
Yeah, maybe my internet connection actually.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like, it'll come. Okay, what's he saying here? And then, I mean, it increases, the speed increases.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever you're saying, right? Zing, it increases, then again it comes down to the normal pitch. I'm like, that's so weird. Okay,
yeah. Maybe because of this connection.
that's fine.
Yeah.
So
So
once you pay in full, right, an invoice, let's say from here you pay in full, and you said partial you can't pay from here. Let's assume you pay in full. After you pay in full, can you go and cancel or delete the invoice? No, right?
no, we cannot delete the invoice. So there are two options to this. So either to void it. Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
okay,
So void is nothing but canceling the invoice. Uh, I'll do one thing. I'll take to this in payment page, and from there I'll explain it.
okay.
So this I will do as an manual thing.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, maybe or I'll do one thing. I'll directly go to the payment screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the manual payment, so we have three options.
Mm-hmm.
So one is quick payment, and the another one is manual, and the other one is refund. So
Okay.
refund is nothing but we will refund the payments that we have received.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like reversing the entry of this particular payment.
Mm-hmm.
And quick payment is something that we make payment as a normal thing.
Uh-huh.
And manual payments are the one which doesn't have the full details of the payment in a way that if we wanted to capture maybe we have the electronic fund transfer and all those things. So for those
Mm-hmm.
cases, we will not use the entire this thing, entire details. So for the cash, I mean for check and the other things, we can use this. But usually we will use the quick payments,
Okay.
and we have the bank accounts to be selected.
Okay.
I
Payment
think
document is not defined.
I think I didn't attach it to the in the bank setup. I think. Let me check once.
Okay. Mm. Hey, I have a quick question. What is a clearing account?
Cash clearing or
I have no idea. I only know clearing account.
okay. I mean, here in this case, or generally, you're asking.
Generally, I'm asking.
Yeah,
Because I hear that, but I don't know what that is.
yeah. Clearing account is something like an intermediary account, as the contra account they would say. So,
What is it? Can you repeat? It's not clear.
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, clearing account as the contra account is nothing but it will stay as an intermediary account. Using this account, we can reconcile or we can use this for the purpose of tracking the payments. In this case, if we
Mm-hmm.
see, we have cash account and cash clearing account. So,
Okay.
which means this clearing account is used to identify whether this payment has been recognized or it is still lying in the bank or it is not processed.
Okay.
So, for example, I have a payment of 10,000. So, I have created the invoice. So, I
Mm-hmm.
have created the payment as well. So, when I
Mm-hmm.
create this payment, the accounting entry would be liability to cash clearing. So, the reason
Mm-hmm.
I'm using this cash clearing account is that so I will identify that this has been went to bank, but it is not
Mm-hmm.
recognized by the bank that it has been cleared. So when this will be cleared is that after having the UTR number. But still
Okay.
we haven't received any confirmation from bank. So till that time, so what we will have is that cash clearing. So this
Okay.
is an intermediary account. So after we get the bank statement from the bank, we will
Mm-hmm.
upload it or we can do it manually as well. So after reconciling this particular line, so which is bank
Okay.
statement of a specific line and a
Mm-hmm.
transaction in our Fusion application, after reconciling, so we will
Mm-hmm.
do the accounting. So
Okay.
so there the accounting entry would be cash clearing to cash account. So which
Okay.
means if you see here as a whole entry, so we have
Mm-hmm.
the liability. So maybe I'll put it in the Excel sheet. Yeah. So these are the entries for the invoice to payment or the reconciliation. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see here, so we have the expense account and the liability account.
Okay.
And when we are making the payment, basically the liability will get knocked off because we have made the payment. And
Mm-hmm.
here starts the cash clearing account. So in this
Okay.
case, the understanding is that bank has cleared our request and we have available funds and bank has cleared this particular payment request. So we will
Okay.
have UTR number in the bank statement.
Okay.
So with that, what we will do is that we will reconcile the this particular payment of 10,000 and this particular payment of 10,000 in the bank statement, and we will reconcile. So after doing the reconciliation, what we will do is that we will account this transaction. So here this
Mm-hmm.
entry would be like cash clearing to cash account. So which means this clearing account will get knocked off. If you see here, so this will be debit of
Mm-hmm.
10,000 and credit of 10,000. So this will get
Okay.
knocked off. So the other case is that the bank statement has rejected the payment request, maybe because of insufficient fund. So for those cases,
Mm-hmm.
what will happen is that we will not have this generated accounting entries generated.
Okay.
So still the accounting entry will be a liability to cash clearing. So which means
Mm-hmm.
this particular payment request is not yet cleared, or this particular function that we have done is not
Mm-hmm.
yet completed. So that is
Okay.
why we are saying this clearing account is kind of an intermediary account.
Okay.
And even when we see this asset module, we will see that how this invoices from AP module is being sent to this one fixed asset module. So there we will see the
Mm-hmm.
asset clearing account. So even there, if you see,
Okay.
the entries are moved from one module to other module. So for this
Mm-hmm.
purpose, we are having this intermediary account or the clearing account, or maybe we can
Okay.
say the contra account also. So
Mm-hmm.
this account will identify whether the particular process has been completed. So in this
Mm-hmm.
case, if you see whether the payment is successful or not, to understand that in terms of accounting, so we can see this flow of account and we can say, yes, this particular, by seeing this particular accounting entry, yes, the flow is complete and bank has cleared the payment. And if
Okay.
I don't have the second part of accounting, so that is reconciliation, which means
Mm-hmm.
we have processed from our end, it is lying with the bank. That bank has
Bank.
to
Okay.
clear it, or this particular transaction has to be reconciled and accounted.
Okay.
So this is how we will identify. So that is how it will stay as an intermediary account. This will
Okay.
help us to identify whether this particular process is done or not, or it is stuck with somewhere. So we can track it basically. So with the help of invoice number.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the purpose of having the clearing accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Uh-huh. I think you gave earlier a standard check all currency or something previously selected.
Okay.
And I think, did you not give that ISO something? Was that the one that you used? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what even I'm thinking. Like the linkage between the payment process profile and document number is that. So we will give this. We will create this payment process profile, and in this payment process
Hmm.
profile, we will use a specific payment document, and
Hmm.
this document we will attach with our bank account. So I
Yeah.
think there is a mismatch
I
between.
think, yeah, I think the payment process profile, I think try that ISO something, that number thing. I remember seeing somewhere something like that. Try that and see if you get yours. I'm
Yeah,
not
for
sure,
this
but
actually we will not have the document. I mean, for this we will not need, I think.
I
Yeah,
don't
this
know.
is
I'm just
past.
saying,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah, this
I
is
don't know what.
past. Okay, maybe we can check this, payment process profile. I think this is standard check. I'll just take this.
Oh, standard check INR is yours probably.
No, we used the standard one actually. The standard check we used it.
Oh, okay. Payment profile. So you right clicked and you got that menu, the menu.
Yeah, if we right click, we will have to duplicate it. So if we click duplicate,
Mhm.
it will just give the replica of the same thing.
Okay.
Because this is not responding. So I think there is some issue in server, so this is crashing. Uh,
Okay.
can we see it tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah, not a problem.
Okay. We'll check this one tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyways, you're out of time.
Yeah, it's almost time. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.